Alamin po natin ngayong January 27, 2022 ano po mga highlights ng balita dito sa Pilipinas. Watch this video and find out. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat mga kabayan at kaibigan and welcome to my channel. Ako po si Jamey Iris and welcome to my Talk TV. This is Jamey Iris Talk TV kung saan pag-uusapan po natin, we will discuss and at the same time we will chat about the latest highlights ng mga balita dito sa Pilipinas at gayon din po sa ibang bansa nang sa gayon you are aware of relevant information na makakatulong po sa inyo sa iyong pag-uwi dito sa Pilipinas or kung hindi naman po kaya ay magbigay sa inyo ng awareness of what's happening around the world. So, yan po ang ating tatalakayin ngayon sa episode pong ito. At syempre, nais ko pong i-welcome ang sino man for the first time ay nakapanood po ng aking channel. Welcome po and I'm inviting you to please subscribe to my channel so that you'll get updated with the latest information at gayon din po kapag may mga tutorials ako. At syempre, welcome ko ang ating mga subscribers na patuloy po at araw-araw na nanonood ng ating channel at mga videos. Simulan na po natin. Unang-una alamin natin, tumaas or bumababa po ang number of cases ng COVID dito sa Pilipinas. Yan po ang ating aalamin ngayon. Alamin din po natin, stealth Omicron, meron na po ba dito sa Pilipinas? At ilang mga cases na ang meron po tayo sa ating bansa. At ganun din po sisilipin natin, aalamin natin ano po nangyayari sa England at gayon din po sa Denmark. At syempre, alamin din po natin na bakit kailangan mag-ingat when you actually, kumbaga po, o nag-access ng ATM dito sa ating bansa. So, alamin po natin ang detalye nito sa ating mga balita sa araw na ito. Unang-una po, ang number of cases ng COVID-19 dito sa ating bansa according to DOH ay bumaba na po. Yes, bumaba po ang ating mga cases sa COVID-19 or yung mga new cases po natin, ito ay 15,789 na lamang po. According to the Department of Health as of January 26, 2022. Yung data po, again, for today, kasi maaga po tayo nag-shoot nitong video natin, so hindi pa po lumalabas yung for January 27. Nevertheless, isi-share ko yan sa inyo bukas. So, alamin po natin from these cases that we have had, ilan po dito ang stealth Omicron na natagpuan dito sa Pilipinas. According to Inquirer.net, ang health authorities po, they have detected 618 Omicron variant cases in the latest whole genome sequencing run, mainly composed of the BA sublineage, ayan po na tinatawag natin na stealth Omicron. According to the Department of Health, the additional Omicron variant cases composed of 91.29% of all the 677 samples sequenced. Sinasabi po nila na both ang original Omicron lineage na B1.1.529 and its sublineage na tinatawag naman po na BA.1 at BA.2 have been detected na po sa ating bansang Pilipinas. The earliest detection of the BA.2 sublineage was on December 31, 2021 and was found to be the majority of the Omicron cases in the latest batch. Ayon po sa DOH mula sa pag-aaral na nakalap ng Health Department at the University of the Philippines, Philippine Genome Center, ang National Institute of Health ay walang pagkakaiba ang BA.1 at BA.2 in terms of transmissibility or severity of the disease. Pinahayag din po ni DOH Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeire na ang stealth Omicron na ito o BA.2 ay mas common sa mga local cases sa bawat rehiyon ng bansa. Ang isa pa pong lineage po ng BA.1 or sublineage ay na-detect din po ito in other 8 regions dito sa ating bansang Pilipinas. And the most common version of the Omicron is in Bicol region and among returning overseas Filipinos. Dinagdag pa ng DOH na kinakailangan pa rin po na masusing pag-aralan ang mga sublineages na ito dahil sa ngayon ay limitado na ang kanilang obserbasyon. The detection of the BA.2 does not require a significant change in the COVID-19 response. Now, ang stealth Omicron po has been detected across the countries, accounting for a majority of the most recent cases in some nations such as the United Kingdom, Denmark, Sweden, and India. The UK Health Security Agency designated the BA.2 sublineage as a variant under investigation as cases of it were on the rise. So patuloy pong So patuloy po tayo mag-ingat mga kabayan at kaibigan dahil nasa bansa na po natin at mayroon na po tayong 600 plus cases ng stealth Omicron. Sa Inquirer.net naman po sinabi nila na ang DOT, ni-reduce po ng Department of Tourism ang period ng suspension ng Berjaya Makati Hotel. Kung matatandaan po natin, ang Berjaya Makati Hotel ay sinuspinde bilang parusa sa insidente kung saan ang isa sa kanilang guest na umuwi ng bansa mula sa Estados Unidos ay nag-violate ng quarantine protocol at umattend ng isang party malapit sa Poblacion District sa Makati. Kinilala po ang guest na ito na si Poblacion Girl. Ang kanyang video na nagpa-party ay nag-viral at napag-alaman na siya pala ay nag-positive sa COVID-19. Maliban sa suspension ng hotel, sila rin po ay pinagmulta ng 13,200 pesos. In a January 19 letter addressed to the Makati Mayor Abigail Binay, sinabi po ng DOT said it cut the suspension of the hotel's accreditation from 3 months to 2 months po. Moreover, the DOT maintained its order revoking Berjaya Makati's authority to operate as a multi-purpose hotel. What does this mean? It means that they can supposed to be accommodate as a multi-purpose hotel both quarantine and staycation guests. Now, the modified order came after Berjaya Makati appealed an earlier DOT ruling that found the hotel liable for violating health and safety protocols that were crafted by the COVID-19 Interagency Task Force and DOT. Now, the DOT said in the letter that only hotels or accommodations establishments with valid DOT accreditation shall be allowed to accommodate guests and clients subject to guidelines issued by the Department of Tourism and IATF. Now, in this regard, in view of the attached resolution, which is now executory, we respectfully request that the Office of the Good Mayor to take appropriate action in relation to the suspension of the Berjaya Makati Hotel's business permit, the DOT letter read. Yan po ang update natin regarding Berjaya Hotel. Lumabas naman po tayo ng ating bansa at tingnan po natin ang England. Ang latest information po mula sa Channel Asia, mula po sa Channel News Asia, ang Inglaterra po or ang England, nilift na po nito ang Omicron restrictions. What does this mean? From Thursday, January 27, 2022, face coverings are no longer required by law anywhere in England, and a legal requirement of COVID-19 passes for entry into nightclubs and other large venues has been scrapped. Now, the government last week dropped its advice for people to work from home as well as guidance for the face covering in classrooms. Now, the so-called Plan B measures were introduced in early December to stop the rapid spread of the Omicron variant from overwhelming health services and to buy time for the population to get its booster vaccine shot. Now, Health Secretary Sajid Javid said the government's vaccine rollout, testing, and development of antiviral treatments combined to make some of the strongest defenses in Europe, allowing a cautious return to normality. No, but he added that as we learn to live with COVID, we need to be clear-eyed also that this virus is not actually going away. While the infections continue to fail, health officials said that Omicron remained prevalent across the country, especially among children and elderly. Sinabi din po ng mga opisyal na almost 84% ng mga tao over 12 years old dito sa UK have had their second vaccine dose, and that those who are eligible, 81% na lang po. 81% na po ang naka-receive ng booster shot. Ang hospital admission and the number of people in intensive care units have stabilized na po at or failed and fallen during daily cases have fallen from peak of 200,000 cases a day around New Year to under 100,000 in recent days. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said last week that ang pagtaas po ng Omicron infections has now peaked nationally. Now, sinabi ng gobyerno ng UK, they moved away from legal measures. Some shops and public transport operators say that they will continue to ask people to don their face masks. London Mayor Sadiq Khan said face coverings will still be required on the capital's buses and subway trains. Now, the legal requirement of those infected to self-isolate for 5 full remains, but Johnson said the measure will end soon to be replaced with advice and guidance from those infected to be cautious. Now, sinabi din po ng health officials nila that they are planning a longer-term post-pandemic strategy that treats COVID-19 more like a flu. Sinabi rin po sa Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, which make their own public health rules, have similarly relaxed the virus restrictions. Now, yan po ang nangyayari sa England. How about naman po sa Denmark? Sa Denmark naman po, they also lift COVID-19 curbs in return to life as we knew it. Sinabi po sa Inquirer.net na ang Denmark po, sinabi nila na tatanggalin na po nila virtually all COVID restrictions from next Tuesday despite record infections, counting on a high vaccination rate to cope with a milder Omicron variant, said the government. Sinasabi nila na we are saying farewell to the restrictions and welcome to life as we knew it before Corona. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen told a press conference on Wednesday. The successful vaccine program proved a super weapon. Frederiksen said it has given us a solid defense against infection and continues. Now, that is why the government decided that coronavirus should no longer be considered a threatening disease for society. That actually means that de facto, lifting of all government or domestic restrictions, including the use of vaccine pass, mask wearing, and early closing for bars and restaurants. Now, Denmark intends, however, to keep some border measures in order for other 4 weeks, including test and or quarantine depending on travelers' immunity status. Samantalang, in its neighboring country, ang Sweden, authorities announced that current restrictions would still remain in place for at least 2 more weeks. Sinabi rin po ni Health Minister Lena Hallengren said that the majority restrictions could be removed by February 9 if the situation has stabilized by then. Faced with a lower level of hospitalization than in previous waves, several European countries, including France, Ireland, and the United Kingdom, have announced the lifting or a considerable reduction of the restrictions despite record of very high cases. Now, in England, the only legal restrictions in place from Thursday will be for people who test positive or to isolate. Now, in Denmark, on the other hand, health authorities recommend people who test positive to isolate for 4 days. So yan po ang latest update po natin mula sa ibang bansa, mula sa UK, Denmark at Sweden. Balik po muna tayo sa Pilipinas. Bakit po sinasabi ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas that they are warning us from fake bills from ATMs? Ang source po natin ay ang Philstar Global. Ang Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas ay pinaalalahanan po ang publiko na kailangan regularly ini-inspect ang mga banknotes for authenticity through the feel, look, or tilt approach as a precautionary measure against counterfeiting. Sabi po nila na ang banknote na dinidispense ng ilang mga ATM may be suspected as a counterfeit. Now, the holder advised to immediately report it to the bank that owns the machine. Kung sakasakaling mangyari po ito sa inyo, ito ang bili ng BSP or Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. According to the regulator, the bank that owns the ATM would conduct a thorough investigation to verify whether the banknote was indeed dispensed by the bank's ATM. Now, if the holder's claim is verified, the BSP said the bank should replace the banknote in question. Now, according to the BSP, lahat ng bangko po na mag-employ ng adequate risk management measures kailangan po nila ito para mapigilan ang mga insidenteng such as this. Now, aside from the installation of cameras at ATM areas, cash handlers and service providers tasked to refill ATMs are trained to detect counterfeit banknotes or verify their genuineness before placing them in the ATM, it added. Under Republic Act 19, Under Republic Act 10951, counterfeiters of the Philippines currency are subject to penalty of at least 12 years in prison and a fine not exceeding 2 million pesos. Wow! Grabe din ang laki ng fine, di ba? Pero again, since counterfeiting is not really allowed in our country, so I think maari po na rightful din ito para sa kanya. What do you think? Mga kabayan, let's talk, let's share about it, let's discuss. What's your thought about this ATM scam na nangyayari po sa ilang mga bangko simply because nagkakaroon po ng counterfeit money dito? I hope hindi pa po kayo nabibiktima or ibang mga kamag-anak na po ninyo. Kung sakasakali, ikwento nyo po sa amin nang kami ay makapag-ingat din po. And then at the same time, stealth Omicron. Naku po, yan po pala kaya ang marahil na rason kung bakit ang bilis-bilis na ma-transfer po nung virus the past few weeks. Simula po nung December at syempre nitong January, pero thank God, bumababa na po ito. So ano po masasabi ninyo kung kayo po ba ay nagkaroon ng stealth Omicron? Ano po ang naging experience ninyo nang sa gayon we know how to take precaution too? At syempre po, yung countries na diniscuss po natin, yan yung number 1, England, and then Denmark as well as Sweden. So at least nalaman na po natin ang latest updates mula sa kanila. What's your thought regarding going back to the old way of doing things? They say all restrictions for COVID will be replaced, although for England, meron silang certain considerations like for example, in wearing masks, sa subway or kaya po sa train. And same thing with Denmark, unti-unti na po silang bumabalik. By next week na po, back to normal. What's your thought about this? Kamusta naman dyan sa bansang pinagtatrabahuhan ninyo? Ganyan din ba po ang kumbaga nangyayari or ganyan din po ba yung trend? Let us know so that at least we will also be aware about that. So muli mga kabayan, kung you find this video very helpful, informative, please click like. At gayon din, I'm inviting you to please subscribe to my channel. Kung this is your first time to watch this video, at syempre, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga patuloy na nanonood at susubaybay ng aking channel. With that mga kabayan, stay safe, stay healthy. This is Jamey simply saying, saan man po tayong dako ng mundo, taas na upo tayo because we are Filipinos. With that mga kabayan, maraming salamat, God bless you, and see you by tomorrow.